Hello everyone. Today we are talking about CatFP's cutting-edge technology platform and its USPs for the structuring, issuance and distribution of financial products. For this, I'm very delighted to have Irmo Mani with us to give us some insights about the IT architecture of CatFP. Irmo has more than 24 years of experience in the IT development and architecture. In his role as the CTO, he is the brain of our IT landscape. Irmo, welcome to this tech conversation.
Thank you.
Probably to start with, my first question to you is, when we discussed in summer 2021, and I told you for the first time of the project at CatFP, what was finally the reason for you that you have decided to join us in November 2021?
Well, it's because I was already working in this industry for quite a while, and I always was looking for a new challenge. I thought it was the right opportunity to join, and I really, I saw it as a good opportunity and a challenge to build up something from scratch again, mostly. With all the experience that I have in IT as well as in the field of finance, it felt like the right thing to do.
Now you are a very senior IT architect and developer working for different globally renowned issuers of structured products. What are the main experiences that you have gained in the past and what role do they play in CatFP's issuance platform?
So obviously being in the field for a long time, as well as working for very small companies as well as large companies, you see a lot of things that go right, you see a lot of things that go wrong, and experience helps to take and pick and choose the right things and learnings and bring them on your path and as well build up a team around your knowledge and experience and give them the right opportunity to follow you on that direction.
Now, jumping right into the USPs of CatFP's infrastructure, can you explain how CatFP's IT operates?
So our IT is foremost, we take a very explicit code-first approach, and that means that not only development obviously is done by code, but all of our infrastructure is also done by code. This approach makes that we can use the tools to work and collaborate together as a team, work on things together much easier, but it also helps us to track and audit exactly what's going on our infrastructure, which is very helpful and also very useful. So that's I think definitely a clear USP. Because of that, we can also take an approach where we don't necessarily do updates on environments, but we do destroy and create setups. So we always deploy from safe sources, etc. And we basically keep our blueprint of what our infrastructure should look like always to us. I think that's a very distinct USP because it allows us as well to maintain a very small team. And small teams are usually, in my experience, much more effective because you have less communication together, so you can focus more on getting things done.
Now, your main slogan has always been API first, and
yes.
This is also basically what you said when we first had the discussion in summer 2021. Why is this so important, and how do you implement it at CatFP?
So being a financial service provider, the most difficult thing to figure out IT-wise is what's your product that you sell to the client, and it's usually not the software. And it is the technical functions and also financial functions and services that we offer as a company, which if you offer them through an API, the transport to your clients or to your users is then still open. Obviously, you build your own user interfaces for your own needs, but also for your client needs. But it allows you to be open and always approach a client with an opportunity saying, yes, this is our user interface. If you want something else, we can make it for you because we have all of our functionality available through an API, which means the client can also opt in to connect his own software to our infrastructure. We can connect to other third-party providers much easier because we focus on our technical capabilities first and not on our visual and user experience capabilities. It doesn't mean that they're not as important, but the way we approach it is API first and the rest comes second.
Now, CatFP's IT landscape is a combination of external standard software and the development of what we call CatFP core,
Yes.
with loads of microservices around this core. Can you describe this and explain how third parties can also benefit from our open architecture platform?
So it comes back into a bit what I explained before. Because we have an API first approach, it also allows us to much easier integrate with other systems and services, whether that's through our backend APIs or through our public front-end APIs, depending on where this third-party vendor should be placed. Is it for our internal use? Is it a third-party vendor that a client uses? This whole approach makes that we can very easily integrate with any kind of system, essentially. Yeah.
And what's your vision of an open IT architecture and an ecosystem at CatFP?
I think the open architecture, it becomes a bit repetitive, but obviously it starts again with thinking about your technical capabilities and how they should scale and how they should be useful for yourself, but also for future potential other clients or systems or integrations, or and always think ahead in making your ecosystem scalable. And it doesn't necessarily mean scalable in the terms of hardware or performance, but also scalable in the sense of that you are adaptable in being able to change your systems quite rapidly again. Because you can never know from the start what you should build. My rule in IT is you never get it right from the start anyway. So just be prepared that you at some point might have to change, and embrace that, embrace the failure, embrace the changes, and then you are open to anything in that sense.
Thank you. Now, many IT developers have different preferences for programming languages. What's your view on the different languages and how do we use them within the IT team?
So I come from an experience where I started very conventional with Java programming and a bit of C++ programming even. And in my early days, I learned as a programmer that it really helps to get used to learning to program, and there the language is just a tool. And by doing more languages, it makes yourself experience different paradigms as a programmer, and it naturally makes yourself a more robust programming. I wouldn't say a better programming necessarily, but certainly robust. You gain a lot more experience. And we do try to approach the same here. We think more about the paradigms, how you should program and what's important with programming than the language that we use. So that's why we're currently also operating with, for instance, C#, but we also do some F#. There was a necessity to do some Java because of third-party dependencies and because of some of our experience in our teams. Therefore, we opted to do Scala, which runs on the Java ecosystem. And it shows as well that, again, by having a team that is flexible and focuses on the right part of programming, it's not irrelevant, but you can always choose the right tool for the right job, and that includes the language that you use to program and its ecosystem.
Now, finally, the entire IT systems run on Google Clouds here at CatFP.
Yes.
Can you share with us the main advantages of having everything on a cloud?
So obviously one advantage of having everything on a cloud is the location. Being a financial institution, we obviously run most of our infrastructure in Zurich. Obviously our data is securely stored in Zurich. But we have an opportunity in case of emergencies or in case of an opportunity where a client wants to have his own data in case close to him or near to him, we have the flexibility to move the data around. Cloud also still gives you the opportunity to take a hybrid approach, which we do have with our third-party vendors, because we use some of our systems are completely managed services. So they do run on a classical data center, but we have private connections between their systems and our cloud infrastructure, which what we call current a hybrid setup. It allows us for much more flexibility, scalability horizontally as well as vertically. So where we say we either take more machines or larger machines, or we take more instances of a backend service to scale the load. It allows us to grow.
Thank you very much, Irmo. Finally, I probably would say that it's fair to say that CAT-FP has one of the most modern IT infrastructure in the industry of financial products. Would you share that view?
Yes, I think so. Coming from a long road of experiences that I have with finance institutions, there is a reason always why finance institutions are not always the latest technologies, because you always want to build something that is secure and proven. But I do feel that we're on the edge of the latest technology when it comes to finance institutions, and also doing our best to stay up to date and stay up front to make optimal use of everything that technology nowadays can offer you.
Now, you mentioned a very important aspect, which is security.
Yes.
Cybersecurity is a big topic. How do we ensure that we have the necessary protection on our IT systems?
So the code first approach helps a lot, because nobody has physical direct access to the infrastructure. Executions and updates are all done automatically by secure tokens. The initiations of certain deployments can only be done by certain administrators, etc., etc. So that also helps a huge amount with security, like I said, because nobody has access to the machines. Machines are all in completely private environments. Nothing is directly exposed to the internet. We run a very, very secure shop.
Irmo, thank you very much for the time. Thank you for your insights, and we are all very excited to hear more about the future platform of CAT-FP.